Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to this session on Global Legal Context Middle East. I hope everyone is going well. I'm Frederic. I'm the GCC Regional Manager for the company called Cedar Rose, and I'm based here in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So today's session will focus on the challenges and the solutions to access quality data and information in the Middle East and North Africa region. If you have any question or comment, please drop me an email or call me on my mobile. My contact details are actually available on the last slide of these presentations. So everybody is aware, even if the COVID-19 pandemic has slowed the trend, the MENA economy is rapidly growing, with innovation, sustainability, and advanced technologies as its core pillars. From the likes of Dubai 2020 Expo, which focuses on around sustainability, to the Saudi 2030 vision, which is set to transform the country, it is evident that the MENA region is rapidly transforming. So this region poses huge potential for investment, growth, and sustainability. Question is, how do we identify potential clients, onboard them swiftly while adhering to compliance and regulatory requirements, ensure that they are creditworthy and remain compliant by monitoring them when actually data seems elusive? Indeed, the digitization of datasets, open access to data framework, and overall data availability remains scarce in the MENA region, and as such, it requires a lot more research and innovation to utilize the hidden gems that this region has to offer. There has been some attempts in the region to facilitate access to information and data by implementing an open data strategy. As defined by the International Open Data Charter, open data is digital data that is made available with the technical and legal characteristics necessary for it to be freely used, reused, redistributed by anyone, anytime, anywhere. The 6 charter principles of the International Open Data Charter, you can see on this slide, were developed in 2015 by government, civil society, and experts all around the world to represent a globally agreed set of aspirational norms for how to publish data. For more details, I strongly advise you to connect to the website of this International Open Data Charter, as there is a full set of quality information and analysis. Based on this charter, actually, there is also this open data barometer, which aims to uncover the true prevalence and impact of open data initiatives around the world. It analyzes trends and provides comparative data on countries and regions using an in-depth methodology that combines contextual data, technical assessment, and secondary indicators. The key highlights of this barometer for the MENA region indicate that, first of all, in general, countries in the region have made only a few progresses on open data implementation and barely improved on open data readiness. The region is failing to harness the impact of open data. It is even missing out on the kind of economic impacts that are commonplace in the rest of the world. Then secondly, some countries, also including Saudi Arabia, have recently started working to improve their open data strategies, but most countries have shown no or very little progress on their respective open data government agendas. No government has, for example, adopted the Open Data Charter. Finally, some datasets in the region are frequently available, such as national census, government budget, or international trade data. But most of this data in the MENA region is locked with legal and technical restrictions. Land ownerships, government spending, and company registers are, for example, the least accessible datasets in the region. So Know that we have discussed together the difficulty to access data and information in the Middle East region. Let's look at another key challenge, as accessing, relying, and using that data. The 2020 PwC Global Economic Crime and Fraud Survey found that 47% of the 5,000 companies they interviewed experienced fraud in the last 24 months, resulting in a loss of 42 billion USD. Actually, fraud and economic crime do not only cause financial damage to businesses, they also affect local government through the loss of tax revenue. And as a result, in the last few years, government have increased the number of and severity of compliance regulations. So an essential component to successful compliance monitoring is the quality of the data that is collected during compliance processes, such as client onboarding process. It is crucial to monitoring, as bad data can cause several problems for businesses that do not immediately take corrective actions. But first of all, you may ask, what is bad data? So we ourselves define bad data as any information that can be flawed, misleading, or without structure. No one is really immune to it, and if it is not acknowledged and fixed at the early stage, it can cause serious complications. So in practice, today companies, they will traditionally collect their consumers' data during the onboarding process, and they will continue to do so for CRM management purposes. However, these companies now are required to collect data as part of compliance and other financial regulatory compliance as well. Therefore, data collection has become more complicated, which means that to be able to fix dirty data, companies must first understand the causes. So the first cause is an assumption that companies feed their consumers' information directly into compliance systems. However, because the data is collected and maintained according to different stage of the consumer life cycle, it rarely meet KYC prerequisites. Therefore, the collection of information does not comply with AML or KYC requirements, and the result is actually bad data. Then also because sales and support representative manually enter all the data relative to a transaction into their software, for example, cloud software, because it reaches the before it reaches the compliance systems. It can result in low quality data as well. This process is known as enrichment, and it is highly sensitive to the smallest variation in data quality. In more details, the slightest mistake in the data entry will impact its relevance and usefulness. Lastly, the fact that many businesses work with affiliated brands that target or benefit from the same customer base can complicate the collection of accurate and connected data even further. Meaning that the more parties that are part of the transaction process, the easier it is for inaccurate data to enter the monitoring system, and the harder it is to make connections between different data sets. So what I would say that is, in conclusion, compliance can only be successful when it has detailed information on the initiating entity, the business processing in the the transaction, and on the parties who benefit from the exchange. The more quality details the system has, the more accurately it can detect fraudulent behavior and high-risk customers. So therefore, when the info entering the database is inaccurate or even irrelevant, it creates a garbage in, garbage out scenario that makes the monitoring process ineffective. And consequences of bad data might be several. For example, false positives. These positives are alert for behavior that seems actually fraudulent, but it isn't in reality. Each time this happens, a compliance analyst must conduct further research to provide the proof of why each highlighted activity is not fraudulent. To investigate each alert, companies require additional workforce and resources, which means compliance team must redirect their time and focus away from dealing with actual fraudulent cases. And even if companies employ the latest technology, whether it's machine learning, whether it's artificial intelligence, automation, and so on, to monitor and alert them of risky customers, many compliance system will miss many true positive if the information in the database is actually inaccurate. And because employees are responsible for the data that enter a company's database, they play a large part if in low quality data, decreasing a compliance program ability to detect false positive. So now that we have uncovered the difficulty first to access data and secondly related to bad data, what are the solutions to improve the quality and the reliability of the data? In the last few years, all industries, but maybe especially the financial sector, have seen increased regulations regarding financial crime, security, privacy, and with laws cracking down and increased penalties, private organizations can no longer afford to disregard compliance. During this time, many have turned to technology and even to technology providers to automate data collection and analysis. I will now briefly detail three key aspects. First, the digitization of the compliance procedures. Second, the machine learning, and then the application program interface, or known as well as API. So first of all, digitization of the compliance procedures. With increasing regulation nationally and internationally, this has pushed actually companies to develop and harness technology to automate and make compliance more straightforward and more effortless as a task. These companies, these mostly startup or red tech companies, they have supported a willingness by all of the businesses to redesign their operations so they can include compliance within their procedures. As we've mentioned earlier, risk and compliance teams are facing increased pressures for conformity, so they must find new solutions to ease the burden. And in the future, data providers, technology service companies will continue to enable private organizations across industries to digitize many of their compliance processes and remove the inefficiencies, the delays, the excess paperwork that is typically a substantial part of compliance. And finally, by continuing to bake in compliance procedures into a digital workflow, company can reduce cost, penalties, time, and labor needed to manually complete and monitor compliance. And furthermore, they can maintain their focus and resources on customer experience, which means they will be able to cultivate stronger relationships with clients as well as develop customer loyalty. The second technology is actually machine learning. So this is the second key technology component. Today's market is growing continuously, more competitive and technologically advanced. So how do companies compete? One answer can be found through machine learning, actually. So machine learning can help companies get an advantage over the competitors by granting a better understanding of the most vital aspect of any purchase, which is the customer. Imbued with that knowledge, companies can offer better customer experience, provide highly customize services and products, and streamline their operations. Another critical way businesses can succeed in a competitive market is through a compliance process such as KYC or identity verification. And in that case, machine learning is a crucial part of this, as it helps businesses better understand the companies and individuals that will be their business partners, customers, suppliers, agents, and so on. And here are actually two key examples. First of all is the natural language processing. So by implementing the NLP technology within the identity verification process, companies can actually enhance the processing of data, the software comprehension, or improve its ability to authenticate data from structured and unstructured databases used in identity verification or KYC protocols, for example. The second key example here is computer vision. So computer vision is utilized to offer image recognition application that verify the authenticity of identification documents, such as passport of driving licenses, and through pictures of crucial identifications paper, the software can categorize what type of document it is, identify what the essential data is according to the kind of record it is, and validate its authenticity. And the last one is application program interface, or API. So APIs has really revolutionized the way the world operates and has provided better data sharing efficiency. This machine-to-machine interface can transfer data in real time and provide an array of instant possibilities and efficiencies. Importantly, API help create seamless network in order to improve value transfer with suppliers, vendors, clients, partners, or employees actually. So last slide. So just to quickly present Cedar Rose and what we do. So Cedar Rose is a risk management solution company that has been delivering business information and data since 1997. Starting as an expert of the Middle East and North Africa region, we today offer a global coverage for credit reporting and due diligence services. So our customers, they turn to us for our compliance and due diligence processes when they want to evaluate the integrity risk of their third parties and protect the business from unethical or unwanted organizations. They are also frustrated currently from dealing with the lack of qualified and verified data in the MENA region, but also beyond. And they are ready to take action to detect and prevent fraud, which may include, for example, the UBO, so the ultimate beneficiary owners, the PEP, the AML, sanctions, and so on and so on. They also look at or to Cedar Rose when they are committed to adhere to national and international regulations in terms of business ethics and compliance, while they are finally tired of dealing with constrained expertise, budget, or resources to conduct the due diligence process internally. Today, we believe that we continue to grow because we are different from what you will find in the market. While we have a global coverage across more than 200 countries, we are today the only business data provider for the MENA region, and we are also developing these capabilities internally for Sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. As such, most of the major intelligence information providers rely on us to source this data for their own customers, actually. Just a few key figures are, so we have a database, and this database currently has a global coverage across 200 countries. I told you about that, for more than that, with more than 123 million companies in total, and also 12 million companies only for the MENA region. We have tailor-made products and services, dedicated customer support. Our data is accurate, always qualified and verified by our experts analysts. And we have also various business models that suit our customers' needs and expectations. So our customers can request ad hoc reports to be downloaded directly from our website. They can get some packages with discounts. They can also subscribe to our database. And we mentioned briefly the API technology, and we have also our API technology internally that is very efficient for a lot of our clients. So this is the end of this presentation. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. I hope it was very valuable for you to get information on data and the access to data and information, specifically in the Middle East region. So if you'd like to stay in touch with me, you have my phone number, email address. Do not hesitate if you require any more clarification. Thank you very much. Wish you a very pleasant day. Bye-bye.